This is the QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Andy Kerma. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. The UN Human Rights Council in the Gambia, with the support of the Voluntary Fund for Financial and Technical Assistance, is supporting the Ministry of Justice in a consultation on the Universal Periodic Review recommendations in the Gambia. The Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, GCCI, in partnership with the UNDP, have presented $1 million grant worth of equipment to 10 women-owned businesses. The University of the Gambia, with the support of the UNDP, launched the Center for Sustainable Development and Policy Study and the grand finale of the UTG SDG Challenge. The West and Central African Republic for Agricultural Research and Development, in collaboration with the National Agricultural Research Institute, conducted a 3-day forum on climate-smart agriculture. In international news, a court in Senegal on Thursday ordered that jailed opposition leader Ousmane Sonko be reinstated on the electoral register, clearing the way for him to stand in next year's presidential elections. Those were the headlines, now the news in detail. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV's Nightly News. The United Nations Human Rights Council in the Gambia, with the support of Voluntary Fund for Financial and Technical Assistance, is supporting the Ministry of Justice in a consultation on the Universal Periodic Review, UPR, recommendations in the Gambia. This story by Loli M. Kamara is narrated by Lena E. Igwenyiba.
The day-long consultative meeting brought together various stakeholders, including senior government officials, civil society organizations, persons with disability, and human rights advocates to review the recommendations. Yvonne Masarakufa, Senior Human Rights Advisor for the United Nations in the Gambia, on behalf of the UN Resident Rep, states that the UPR is a very important process that advances the promotion and protection of human rights and contributes towards greater compliance in law and in practice. She applauds the work of the National Human Rights Commission and other stakeholders towards the sensitization and reporting on the UPR.
After many years of human rights violations, the Gambia has entered a transition phase where pertinent processes have commenced to ensure the realization and enjoyment of rights holders. Furthermore, the Gambia has embarked on the implementation of the TRC recommendation aimed at providing redress, reparations, and justice. Finally, the government has developed its Green-Focused National Development Plan, the NDP, which also seeks to protect the rights of citizens and also specifically focuses on the protection of key populations such as women, children, persons with disabilities, and older persons.
In 2019, the Gambia underwent the UPR process and received a set of recommendations from other member states. Emmanuel Daniel Diouf, chairperson of the Human Rights Commission, commended the Gambia's government through the Ministry of Justice for efforts taken in presenting the 2019 UPR report, wherein most of the recommendations were accepted.
I would say that the Gambia in 2019 was reviewed on the 5th of November. This was the 2019. This was the third time that the Gambia was being reviewed since the UPR process was established in 2006. And following the presentation of Gambia's report by the then Attorney General, Abubakar Tambedu, the report was adopted by the working group on the 8th of November 2019.
Hussein Tamasi, the Gambia Solicitor General and Legal Secretary, disclosed that his ministry is committed to transparency and accountability, adding that allocating adequate resources and establishing strong monitoring mechanisms will be key to the success of the program.
Recognize the importance of addressing specific human rights concerns that have been raised during the UPR process. The program will prioritize combating gender-based violence, protecting the rights of marginalized groups, and promoting freedom of expression and association, among other things. We firmly believe that a multi-stakeholder approach is crucial for the success of this program.
He is expected to submit a report in 2024 on the actions the country has taken to improve the human rights situations in the country. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwenyuba.
The Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, GCCI, in partnership with the UNDP, have presented a $1 million grants worth of equipment to 10 women-owned businesses. The support aims to enhance access to new technologies and boost the productive capacity of the women entrepreneurs in their business endeavors. Momodu Lamin Choi reports.
There are gleaming smiles on the faces of these women business owners as they receive grant support that aims to uplift and expand their business capacity. From this ceremony, each of these entrepreneurs will walk away with $100,000 worth of equipment, having been chosen out of dozens of applicants. Fadu Jallo Jawara is a Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry board member.
There were about 34 applicants, out of which 10 of you were chosen to be winners this morning. I always say as women, we're all winners, whether we take the equipment home today or not. At the end of the day, we all celebrate each other. And I would like to just implore us women that are going home today with this equipment to really put them in good use. I have no doubt that this will be put in good use, but I think it's a matter of responsibility to just implore you to ensure that these machines that we are going to take home or take back to our businesses today are put into good use, just so that we will continue to see progress.
Enhancing production capacity of women businesses through technology improvement is the name of the project through which this grant support is being implemented with support from the UNDP. The project has a specific focus on building the capacity of women-owned businesses in productive sectors such as agriculture, agro-processing, ICT, and creative art.
This support feeds into a direct support mechanism to women businesses, that is SMEs, that are formalized, they are already formalized, they've obtained prior entrepreneurship training and demonstrate a need for the equipment in request with capacity to sustain its maintenance. This initiative will boost income of the beneficiaries and increase their market access potential and level of competitiveness.
With limited access to finance and new technologies, this support could provide a significant boost for these women's entrepreneurs' respective businesses. Chan Mendy, a fashion designer, is one of the beneficiaries and is upbeat about the impact the support will have on her business and those of fellow beneficiaries.
This grant that will be received today for machinery and equipment will add value to all our businesses and business ideas in terms of productivity, capacity, efficiency, profitability, and quality, which will not only benefit our businesses, but also add capacity for export, increase employment rate, which will reflect in the development of the Gambia and promoting the initiative of Gambian-made products.
As a representative voice of businesses, the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry works with partners including government to facilitate business development and advance the interests of the business community in the Gambia. Mohamed Lamin Chai, QTV News.
The University of the Gambia, with the support of the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, launched the Center for Sustainable Development and Policy Study and the grand finale of the UTG SDG Challenge on Thursday. Ali Cisse tells us more.
The strategic intent of the Center for Sustainable Development and Policy Study and grand finale of the UTG SDG Challenge is to contribute to the ongoing interventions and efforts in the development and enhancement of research and policy capacity within and outside the Gambia. Kemo Conte, president of the UTG Students' Union, says the Sustainable Development Goals seek to significantly address the cross-cutting issues affecting our society and the globe, such as poverty and conflicts, where other initiatives such as the League of Nations, the predecessor to the United Nations, have failed in the past. Malang Sambu, co-founder of the Mbolo Association, urged young people to be ready to make good decisions for the betterment of current and future generations.
Today, if young people from the University of the Gambia, having great minds and talent and experience to compete in terms of resolving the societal turbulences and problems, that is something that is commendable.
Let's try to do away with what can I get from any project that come down. You just look at that. Oh, that's why we are failing. All the amount of millions of monies that have been pumped into our countries through the SDG goals, because they want for you to get industrial innovation and fresh water. That's DG9. And you look at zero hunger, goal 2, climate actions.
Sambunget, on behalf of the UNDP resident representative, welcomed the initiative as not just an academic exercise, but a demonstration of their commitment to the SDGs. He says the UNDP remains committed to youth participation and gender inclusivity in the development process. Ibrahim Akinte, Director of Development Planning at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, says the future of sustainable development is bright as he uploaded the UTG for this initiative. He says the Gambia is making progress in implementing the SDGs, but there is still more to be achieved.
The emphasis on SDGs 1 to 5 in this challenge reflects a strategic focus on addressing poverty, hunger, health, education, gender equality, which are fundamental elements for achieving sustainable development and critical components of our inclusive growth programming.
The government will continue to devise appropriate strategies and mechanisms to encourage innovative financing, and in this regard, calls for least development countries to have the enhanced access to global finance, as well as ensuring consistency and effectiveness in the development financing landscape to accelerate the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals.
Professor Francis Sarr, deputizing for Vice Chancellor Herbert Robinson, believes such an initiative will serve as a catalyst for effective change by bridging the gap between theoretical and practical solutions to socio-economic challenges.
The UTG SDG challenge represents a transformative journey that transcends traditional education boundaries. It is a testament to the profound impact of collaborative learning. On
Friday, there will be a development forum on the SDG. The panel discussion will address SDG progress in the Gambia, challenges and opportunities, with a key focus on the 5 priorities of the Recovery-Focused National Development Plan. Alpha MK Law of the University of the Gambia moderated the ceremony. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
We will now go for a commercial break, but when we return, we have national and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
In today's fast-paced digital world, staying ahead of the competition requires the latest technologies and skills. That's where QIT comes in. Our programs include Certificate in IT, Diploma and Advanced Diploma in Microsoft Office Applications, Cisco A+, Graphics Design, Database Administration, Systems Administration, HRM, Business Management, and Marketing. We have a range of internationally certified online courses. Our special weekend classes provide the flexibility you need as a working professional. We offer specialized IT training to corporate institutions at our state-of-the-art conference room or at a location of your choice. Our affordable facilities are also available for rental with free and fast internet. Call us at 3100918 or 3800918 to start your journey today. QIT, turning your potential into credentials. The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled device. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future, tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. This is QTV's Nightly News. The West and Central African Council for Agricultural Research and Development, CORAF, WECARD, in collaboration with the National Agricultural Research Institute, NARI, conducted a 3-day workshop on climate smart agriculture, CSA. Lena E. Igwenyuba again.
The workshop focuses on training stakeholders from national platforms, farmer organizations, and agricultural extension agents on techniques and strategies for scaling up climate-smart agriculture and agroecology in the Gambia. Here is Amadou Ngaido, the monitoring and evaluation specialist for the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, Pillar 4, CADEP XP4.
The West Africa Pro-CSA regional platform, in order to be functional and effective, needs strong and dynamic national platforms. We hope that at the end of this training, the basic theoretical and technical concepts of climate-smart agriculture and agroecology will be revised and mastered by participants. Participants' experiences related to the topic in the Gambia and beyond will be capitalized and shared.
Lamin Diba, the focal point of CORAF, the CADEP XP4 project in the Gambia, outlined the project's goals.
To contribute progressively to achieve the sustainable development goal, especially development goal 2, which is to end hunger, and also the action to combat climate change and its impacts, and also to enable agricultural research and innovation, including extension services, to contribute effectively to food and nutrition security, economic development, and climate mitigation in Africa by improving the capacity, effectiveness, and positioning of the regional and sub-regional agricultural research and extension organization, as well as national agricultural research systems.
Demba N.A. Tarawali, Deputy Director General of the National Agricultural Research Institute, highlighted key considerations for building climate resilience.
We must protect and respect our rights to territories, forest, water, seeds, knowledge, and the rights of workers. At the same time, we must stop the practices and policies that are destroying our ecosystems with industrial agriculture and aquaculture, monoculture, extract industry, and mega infrastructure projects.
Sekou Isanyang, Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture, spoke on behalf of his minister.
The government of the Gambia is committed to see that Gambia attain food and nutritional security through the development of appropriate policies, bankable projects, and programs for better production and productivity, better nutrition, better environment, and better life. This is the objective, or this is the aim of the Gambia government, to see that we are self-sufficient in food within a short period of time.
The project is expected to link research and innovation with development initiatives to boost the transformation of innovation in agriculture and food systems to make them more resilient and responsive to climate change and development demands. At the end of the 3 days, it is hoped there will be a clearer vision about making these advances in technology and innovation accessible to small-scale producers and processors of agricultural products. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Gwenyiba.
We will now take a look at news outside the country. A court in Senegal on Thursday ordered that jailed opposition leader Ousmane Sonko be reinstated on the electoral register, clearing the way for him to stand in next year's presidential election. Babukar Sise reports.
Sonko, 49, was struck off Senegal's electoral roll after being sentenced in absentia in June to 2 years imprisonment for morally corrupting the youth. In ordering Sonko's reinstatement, the judge in the capital Dakar confirmed a ruling in October by a court in Ziguinchor, the southern city where Sonko is mayor. Jubilant Sonko supporters were in court on Thursday and chanted his name after the ruling. Sonko has always maintained that he is the victim of a campaign to prevent him standing for president. In late July, he was arrested on other charges, including fomenting insurrection and endangering state security. His standoff with the state for over 2 years has sparked several protests, some of them deadly, in one of West Africa's most stable democracies. Sonko, who has periodically been on hunger strike since his imprisonment, has until December 26 to present his candidacy for the February poll and obtain the necessary sponsorships. A government lawyer said the government would appeal the ruling. Babukar Sise, QTV News.
The Global Refugee Forum 2023 is underway in Geneva in Switzerland. The event is designed to support the practical implementation of the objectives set out in the Global Compact on Refugees, ease pressures on host countries, enhance refugee self-reliance, increase access to third country solutions, and improve conditions in countries of origin. Babukar Sise again.
The Global Refugee Forum, held every 4 years, provides an opportunity for states and stakeholders to announce concrete pledges and contributions, highlight progress made, share good practice, and take stock of challenges and opportunities. The 2023 forum is co-convened by 5 states, Colombia, France, Japan, Jordan, and Uganda, and co-hosted by the government of Switzerland and UNHCR. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, in his opening remarks, says 114 million represents the number of refugees and displaced people in the world. He commended the generosity and hospitality of the people who opened their hearts and homes to those refugees. As the Israel-Palestine conflict escalates, the UN High Commissioner spoke about the dire humanitarian situation in Gaza.
A major human catastrophe is unfolding in the Gaza Strip. And so far, the Security Council has failed to stop the violence. The events that have occurred in Israel and Gaza since the 7th of October are outside the mandate of UNHCR. Tragically, however, we foresee more civilian deaths and suffering, and also further displacement that threatens the region. I cannot open the Global Refugee Forum without first echoing the call of the United Nations Secretary General for an immediate and sustained humanitarian ceasefire.
The UN states that there are currently 55 armed conflicts across the world, and many of these are likely to create more refugees. But while a strong focus remains on Gaza, Mr. Grandi reminded decision makers not to forget other serious global threats causing waves of refugees.
The situation of civilians in Sudan and in Ukraine, including millions who are refugees and displaced, like the plight of the Rohingya, the Syria situation, Afghanistan, the ongoing struggles in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the growing insecurity in the Sahel, the dramatic population flows across the Americas, the Mediterranean, and the Bay of Bengal, and many others.
King Abdullah of Jordan, whose country hosts nearly 4 million refugees, most of them from Syria, says the lack of international funding is affecting refugees' care.
With no clear long-term commitments in flexible international funding, the vulnerability of refugees and Jordanian host communities will grow even more precarious. And the severe shortfall in funds for key agencies like the World Food Programme and UNHCR is negatively affecting the levels of services, including cash assistance, education, and healthcare.
The 1951 Refugee Convention was signed in Geneva in Switzerland in 1951. Christine Skrana Bogena, Switzerland State Secretary for Migration, highlights that the number of people seeking international protection across the world is rising, and their plight can improve if all stakeholders, public and private, take on their role in hosting and caring for these people. Babukar Sise, QTV News.
Before we end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. The United Nations Human Rights Council in the Gambia, with the support of the Voluntary Fund for Financial and Technical Assistance, is supporting the Ministry of Justice in a consultation on the Universal Periodic Review recommendations in the Gambia. The Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, GCCI, in partnership with the UNDP, have presented a $1 million grant worth of equipment to 10 women-owned businesses. The University of the Gambia, with support of the UNDP, launched the Center for Sustainable Development and Policy Study and the grand finale of the UTG SDG Challenge. The West and Central African Council for Agricultural Research and Development, in collaboration with the National Agricultural Research Institute, conducted a 3-day forum on climate-smart agriculture. In international news, we saw a court in Senegal on Thursday ordering that jailed opposition leader Ousmane Sonko be reinstated on the electoral register, clearing the way for him to stand in next year's presidential election. Well, that's all we have for you in this bulletin. Join us at 10 p.m. for another news bulletin. Thanks for watching.